theme song. Do, 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 do. It's time for PSG Quick Pulse. I don't have a theme song yet. Maybe brought to you by Burger King, where you can have it your way. It's a cool shirt I got. My friend Brooke got it for me. It's Sephiroth staying outside of Burger King. That's just that's how we roll with fast food. Welcome to Saturday, August 31st. My friend Albert, it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Albert. Just sitting here to chat. Get nobody watching, so that's cool. In the news, let's see. PS5 Pro. So there's supposed to be a PlayStation event in September, like late September, where they're probably going to announce the PS5 Pro. I always thought it would be out in late November. That's when the PlayStation launched, I think, as I recall, 4 years ago or so. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now, do I need a PS5 Pro? No. Is my PlayStation 5 still working? Yes, it's been actually one of the better consoles I've ever had. I've put probably thousands of hours into it. It still runs perfect. Never had to open it to clean it. Nothing serious with it. I just dust it off. I play it a lot. Solid hardware. One of the best. The worst I ever had was the Xbox 360, which I think I talked about last time. Although I did have a PS4 that the disk drive broke. Actually, funny story there, because I think I was playing Red Dead Redemption. That's when it broke. Kind of like how the Xbox 360 broke because I played the game too much. But anyway, I bought one. It broke. I think I then I sold it to a guy at work for $200, I think, because I was like, you can't play games on it with the disk drive. But you can do the digital still, and I think I sold him for $200, and then I got a PS4 Pro. This time around, I think that's how it happened. Whatever. I don't need a PS5 Pro because my PS5 still works, but you notice some things like when you're playing Wukong, for example, games, consoles like up here, technology-wise. Okay, Xbox is down here, of course. But games are like, it started off like playing Final Fantasy Rebirth, and my PlayStation's up here. And the opening cutscene for Final Fantasy Rebirth lagged when I played it. And I was like, okay, and that was it. So the games are up here, and then Stellar Blade comes out, and now the games are up here, and now Wukong comes out, and then the games are up here, and the frame rate drops are crazy. I'm playing it on balanced. First I tried playing it on quality, so just better. It was like 40 frames per second or something. And anyways, I'm playing it on balance now to try to mitigate the problems with the graphics. But there's a lot of frame rate drops in that game. And the technology for games, I think, is just games are getting pushing past the limits of what a PlayStation 5 can do. They've already gone way past an Xbox. I don't even know. Is Series S the good Xbox? Or is it X? It might be S. I think it's S. Tell me in the comments. But yeah, so I mean, it's 4 years into the PS5. Is the PS6 coming in a couple of years? I mean, maybe if they're releasing a PS5 Pro now, that buys them probably another 2 or 3 years before a 6. Who knows if Xbox is even launching a new one? They say they are, but are they though? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea with those guys. So I don't know. You get like what? I don't know anything about specs or anything because it hasn't leaked yet. But all I've heard so far is that 2 terabytes hard drive, 3 lines across the front. Digital only. That's it. I saw pictures where they were showing it as black, and I thought that'd be cool. I'd like a black PS5, but I think that was just bullshit. So I don't need it, but my console is 4 years old. I got it day one. So if I could trade this one in, it might only cost me a couple $100 to get a Pro. So why not? Why wouldn't I? So I'll do what I did last time when the PS5 came out. They had pre-orders at my local EB Games, which is GameStop in Canada. Or at least, are they even branded GameStop now? And maybe they are. I don't remember. But I just ducked out of work for like an hour in the morning, waited for the mall to open, 3-person line, pre-order my console. Thank you very much. So I'm going to do the same thing again. And I'm glad I did because, as people may recall, there was a pretty brutal wait to try to get PS5s if you weren't on the first load. People were waiting literally years to get their hands on them. So, always do the pre-order. Which is funny I say that because I'm essentially against pre-orders, but mostly with games, but not the consoles. Nowadays, you play a game and the developers rush it out to market, and then you pre-order it, and then you get it, and it doesn't even work. Then there's a patch, and a lot of games, they don't release them finished, and it's frustrating. Ubisoft, looking at you. So I don't pre-order anymore. I mean, maybe the rare occasion. But I mean, if I only game digital now because I don't trust disc drives anymore. And you can get games the second they come out. So why bother even pre-ordering, honestly, if you're going digital? Well, you see behind me there, I used to get, I don't know if you can see it, but behind all those iPhone cases, boxes, in that classic NES, Super NES, right there. There's a bunch of physical games because I used to collect games, and I still have that's probably like 100 and something of them right there. But digital only, so yeah, I've got like 170 games to my PS5 library. I don't know, 150 something. I don't know, but it's quite impressive. Now we build our digital libraries instead of our physical library. But yeah, digital only. Don't pre-order. Baldur's Gate 3. There's a game. I played it. It was awesome. Was having a great time. Got to chapter 3. Game-breaking bug. Game crashes. You can't proceed. Took a month to fix it. Because of that, I never finished that game. I'm like right at the end. Never finished it. And I'm a trophy hunter, as some people might know. Will I go back, though? Probably not. The thing about me with games is I can only focus on one at a time. And if I leave a game and I come back to it later, I forget everything. I don't know where I was, what I was doing, how to do anything. It's just not a good time. I'd have to start over. And that game's long, and I put a lot of work into it. But I fear I may never finish that game. Oh well. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, don't pre-order games. Here's a good example. Star Wars Outlaws came out this week, and they give you options because Ubisoft. I'm pretty sure it's Ubisoft. As usual, I could be wrong. Tell me in the comments. It was like you pay an extra $30 or something for the game. You get 3 extra days, some other stuff, some bullshit cosmetics. But you're basically paying to play it early. And then the game comes out. It's a glitchy hellhole. And the developer comes out and says, okay, we got a patch. But you're gonna have to restart your game. So those 3 days you paid for, thanks for beta testing, but it doesn't count. And so everybody lost their progress. So I think they recently came out and rewarded them with like a ship or something. But this is what I'm saying. You pre-order your game, they give you perks to incentivize you, and then the game doesn't even fucking work. So yeah, I mean, other games like Diablo 4, that's a good example. I'm gonna have to change the title of this video to say Craig rants about pre-orders. It's just the natural evolution of the rant that I go on every so often. Diablo 4, played it, did the beta, all that fun stuff. Game comes out, complete broken mess. Played it for a few months, couple months, I don't know, and had a hardcore character and was doing okay, and then got instantly killed by like an ice attack on like the first dungeon in the game when I was already like level 60. Excuse me. And just never went back. and yeah, you know, you play hardcore Diablo, and if you die, you die, and that's the risk that you take. But the game was so screwed up and undertuned and overtuned in other areas that it was a mess. And so basically nowadays you pre-order something and then you're just beta testing the game for the developers. So I mean, like, is there no QA anymore? Are people just like deadline? Like, release the game when it's finished. And to branch off of that, games with planned content, and one that irritates me is Final Fantasy 16, for example. They started this with 15, actually. But 15 and 16. They released the game full well knowing it's unfinished. But they're like, here's the game. And we're going to time an expansion for about this part here and another one over here. And they incorporate elements of those expansions in the game, the main game. So like you'll see areas you can't get to, or there's doors you can't open or something like that. And it's because they're going to add that later. So it's just a crock of shit. I guess Saturday, this is the rated 18 version of PSG. Like, don't release the game fully intending to skip on content that you plan to make anyway, only to release it later. I would rather wait longer for the game and get the whole thing than to top up $40 a couple of times down the road to get the rest of the content. This goes back to what I was saying before. Like, so when I'm done the game, I'm done a game. I'm not going back to it. I don't care if it's Final Fantasy, which is like my all-time number one. I'm done. So release the game when it's all there, and hello somebody, and I'll play it then. If it means spending like an extra $20 for the game, $100, I'm not even opposed to $100 for a game, but I want the whole game, not for this nonsense. So if anybody played those expansions, I guess let me know how those went, because I never did. So, oh well. In Final Fantasy 15, that was a bummer too, because that was even more egregious. Like, there was whole sections of the game when you're playing it that you just omitted, where characters would like disappear. You don't know what happened to them. They come back at the end. And so they had these episodes where they had like, I forget the names of the characters, but except for Noctis, of course. Like episode Prompto, Gladiolus, and there was the other guy, I forget his name. But they had whole expansions planned with chunks of story that they took out of the game and then later added them to the game. So people that joined in later got the whole experience. I never did. Okay, I never got to see any of that stuff, and I was hell No, I was not going to go back into the game to play it because that was not as bad as 16. Because 16 you can just use your end game clear save file and continue on. 15, those are parts that were happening mid game that they reinserted it and were like, okay, play the game again. Now you get to experience it. No, fuck off. Okay, I'm done. I'm not going back to that game. I got other worlds to save. I got other burgers to eat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, don't pre-order games. What else happened? Trails in the Sky. So Nintendo had a direct, and I get a lot of my news from social media. I don't watch Nintendo directs generally. My position right now is I am a Nintendo fan for sure, but I've missed out on probably the last 10 years of Nintendo. Maybe less, because I like to stream. And I stream on Twitch. Nobody watches. It's okay. So I stream on Twitch. But PlayStation has a built-in Twitch app. So I don't need to know how to do capture card and things like that. I just push the button, no OBS, no nothing, just stream away. I'm on my couch. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Sometimes I stream on my PC with OBS through Twitch. But I used to have a Nintendo Switch. And I lent it to my stepbrother. He's had it forever. Probably for like 3 years, 4 years. There's a lot of IP in Nintendo that I'm a huge fan of. I'm a huge fan of Zelda. I like the Mario games. I like the Donkey Kong games. I like Metroid. Excuse me. I like all that Nintendo stuff. There's one RPG series on Nintendo that I really, really want to play. It's Xenoblade. And there's like 4 games now, and I'm a huge fan of the team that made it because they made Xenosaga on PlayStation, which I played all 3 of those games. I thought they were awesome. It was supposed to be 6 games. Xenogears was the 5th one. Look it up. I'm telling you. But they stopped after 3 because the sales were bad. The game was ahead of its time. I'd love to play it again as a remaster, but they refuse to do one. Just please, I don't care if it's a remaster, just port it to the PlayStation 5 so I can play it with trophies. Just play it one more time. I can't remember everything. My recall isn't great. I just remember it was a great time. I vaguely remember what it was about. Gnosis, Zohar, Albedo. But I remember the first game was short. Second game was kind of meh. Third game was awesome. One of the best games I've ever played. I'd love to play it again. For that matter, guys, Square, could you at least port Xenogears? Like, it's been like 20-something years. More. Just take the code, put it in the PlayStation Network so I can play it again. We're begging you. Okay? I mean, you did it with Legend of Dragoon. There's Simba. That's Simba over there. You did it with Legends of Dragoon. Do it with Xenogears. What is the problem? Missing second half of the game or not, just let us play it again. Chrono Trigger as well. Oh, man, this is going to be a whole other show. A whole other episode, right? Go on about old games they should redo. So anyway, Nintendo Direct. I'm a fan of the Legend of Hero games. There's like 14 games right now, or 11, something like that. And I got into it because I was a slow period last year for PlayStation. And I needed a game to play. And I looked and I saw this game called Trails of Cold Steel. And I looked into it a bit. I'm like, okay, seems like maybe a fun RPG. Played it. It actually took me over a year to beat the first game because I played it. I stopped playing, played other games, came back, played a little bit, moved on to other games, came back. It was my back burner game. Game you put in the back while you cycle through all the hot hits as they come out. Eventually, I I ended up putting solid effort. I was like, I'm going to finish this fucking game. In fact, I can tell you, let's see, if I go into my thing here. Okay. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm looking at my trophy list. Trails of Cold Steel. Trails of Cold Steel. Where is it? I play a lot of games. Have I gone too far back? I think I've gone too far back. Mass Effect, Resident Evil Village, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Star Ocean, Tales of Arise, good game. Pixel Remastered, Trails of Cold Steel 2. There we go. 1 year, 8 months to beat that game. Because I just kept going back and forth. Anyway, I finished it. It was awesome. I got hyped. I went right into part 2. I beat that. Played a couple other games in between. Then I played 3. Then I played 4. So I played the 4 games, Trail of Cold Steel. That's all there is. And then there's a game after that called Trails into Reverie, which I skipped because I thought it was just sort of like an extra game. And then Trails to Daybreak came out, and I played that. It's good. Looked more into Trails of Reverie. I suppose I'll have to go back and play that. And then there are 2 other arcs to the series. The Sky arc. There's 3 games. And then there's the 2 games for Crossbell, which, if you know Legend of Heroes, it's basically a second arc. Trails of Cold Steel is the 3rd one. Trails to Daybreak is the 4th one. Anyway, those games aren't available on PlayStation, the first 3, and they're like old style game from like 15 years ago or maybe 20. I don't even know. But they're apparently really good, and you can only play them on Steam. But Falcom, which is the name of the company that makes those games, are remaking them in modern graphics. So there was a series announcement for Trails in the Sky, which is the first of the 3 games at the Nintendo Direct, and caught people by surprise. Apparently, it was a very short trailer, and people were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Because this series is actually a big deal to a lot of people. I know some people that hate when I play these games because Chris, because it's probably boring to watch, I'm sure, but stories are great, characters are great. I love them. So I've only played 5 out of the 11 games, but still awesome. Anyway, I looked into it. No plans for PlayStation, just Nintendo. So I'm sure that will come to PlayStation, but at the start, I mean, you're holding them to Nintendo. Are you fucking kidding me? Back to what I was saying before, I would play Nintendo if I had an easy way to capture the streams. So my buddy Chris, who I talk about often on PSG, apparently, albeit this is episode number 2, I told him, look, man, I would play more Nintendo games if I knew how to stream them. I just don't. I know you need a capture card, but the whole operation about how to set it up, install, buy, like whatever, I'm just not that kind of guy anymore. So I said, you give me, tell me how much money I need. I'll give you the money if you set this up for me so I can play these games. So he said he would. So when the next generation Nintendo comes out, I'll buy one. The Switch 2, whatever the fuck it's called. And then hopefully I can stream those games. And then I can finally get back to trying Xenoblade. I know I'll love those games. I just know I'll fucking love them. And there's so many of them, and they're probably all awesome. And I want to play them, and they're never coming to PlayStation because Namco Bandai or Monolith Software, whoever the fuck it is, will refuse to give their games to PlayStation. It's a whole mess. Look it up. Anyway, Legend of Legendary Heroes. Try having fun. What else happened? Concord came out PlayStation. Complete disaster. It's a looter shooter. Pay to win, maybe? I don't even know. like, multi. What do you call those games? It's fucking not Call of Duty, but the name of the game escapes me. So online shooter, like Overwatch kind of thing. Those games I never play. Apparently came out. It's a disaster, and like a few hundred people playing it at once on launch. I read lost to like $200 million. Don't know what the problem is. It took like 8 years to make it or something. Apparently there's some woke stuff in there, some sweet baby type nonsense. And, if you don't know what Sweet Baby Inc. is, maybe look it up. They're ruining games, apparently. And so Concord's a failure. But also, for a game I'll never play anyway. Damn, what's the name of that stupid game? Fortnite. Getting old. It's like Fortnite as well. More Overwatch, I guess. And there's the other game that's like Overwatch. I forget what it's called too. Anyway, that whole genre. I don't play multiplayer games because I'm terrible at them. Okay, I'll get in the game. Some 8-year-old kid from Korea will just wipe me left, right, without breaking the sweat, and I'll be sitting here being like, "Fuck." So it's not very fun for me. I play a little bit of Destiny multiplayer. The only multiplayer game I've ever been good at was Plants vs. Zombies from PlayStation. That's because I was killing 10-year-olds, probably. So, not my style. Anyway, that game was apparently a huge disaster. It was a first-party title, sort of. Sony made it. But they also chose to launch against Wukong, which is a massive success. It's not a PlayStation exclusive, but it is on PlayStation. It's on PC. It is not on Xbox. Did you hear me? I said not on Xbox. Because Xbox would probably explode if you tried to play this game. There's already frame drops on the PS5. Can you imagine the Series S? The console will melt. By the time they actually get a workable version, everybody will be on to the next thing. And that's what it's like being an Xbox person. If you don't have the game on Game Pass and you don't buy it, you're waiting like a year to play it. So have fun. So are PS5 users beta testing your games? I guess so. But at least we get to play them when they come out. So yeah, PlayStation. I saw some stuff about Expedition 33, which is a single-player JRPG, Western style. Looks a little Bioshocky from what I've seen, but the game looks awesome. Don't sleep on RPGs, people. They are making a comeback. And that is Simba over there on my Pikachu blanket. Yep. So looking forward to Expedition 33. Comes out probably 2025. 2025 is looking to be a big year. That's some of the stuff's coming out. What I'm playing now is I'm still playing Wukong. I'm on level Fluffle. I just started chapter 4 last night. The game's massive. Like, I'm halfway through, I think, and every chapter has been a lot of content, a lot of fights, a lot of items, but the game's fun. Bosses beat the shit out of you every so often. True. So it's going to be a challenge for sure. But it's a really fun game, really well done. Man, I still have to talk about Game of the Year stuff, but this is getting long. So pop it on my Twitch, Phoenix_Shade. If you want to see me playing, but links somewhere on this website. I'm loving it. Visions of Mana comes out today, I think. It did so in the reviews. It got like Metascore like 70 something. I think 78 last time I looked. So let's just check right now. Checking Metascore. So I'm making a Metascore jingle for that part. This is a new Gundam game. You don't say, Gundam. Visions of Mana, 76. Have I explained to you guys my my policy on review scores? Probably not. I'll save that for another time. Maybe next episode of PSG Quick Pulls. Anyways, we get past this ad. User score 8.7. Review score 76. A game I'm committed to playing, though I've never played the demo. I have the demo downloaded, didn't play it. I generally like JRPGs. I'm a Square fan. Square does Visions. I'm pretty sure that's their IP. Anyway, I played the other games. They're fine. Most critics seem to like it, but then a couple really hated it. So we got like 100 from this company, 90, bunch of 90s, some 85s, 80. We're on IGN gave it an 80. And then you go down the list, and then at the bottom, you got a bunch of 70s. That's fine. But then one company, GameSpot, I think, gave it a 5. And I was like, what happened to that guy? GameSpot, inverse. I don't know much about inverse, but 5 out of 10. When other companies are 8, 9, 7. So, whatever. It's still on my list of games to play. I'm going to play it. But Wukong's running long. It's a lot larger than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. But I'm only halfway through the game. And, I mean, it's hard to imagine that the chapters after 3 are as long. Because, I mean, can they really keep this up for 6 full chapters? Or is there going to be some shorter chapters in there? We'll see. Very impressive game so far. Enjoying it. But Visions of Mana, it's on the list of games I'm going to play. Astrobot comes out like in a week too, so now I'm missing again to a point where I have to decide am I going to skip Visions of Mana and go to Astrobot. Astrobot would be a fun change of pace, a little platformer, a little fun there. But I'll eventually get to Visions of Mana as well. But yeah, I finally figured out how to use HDR on my TV. I have a Samsung TV. I've had it for like 6 years. Didn't know how to set up HDR until 2 days ago. So now we have HDR, and I'm sure it's different. My eyes it's maybe imperceptible to my vision, but HDR. Game of the year. So I'll go on that. So. Of course, I've only played the PlayStation games, but I can tell you I still follow what's going on with Xbox and Nintendo. Less so Nintendo, but when there's a big game out, you hear about it. I don't see a single winner out of Xbox so far. It's September, basically, tomorrow. Not a single game all year. They had Hellblade, which apparently was a super impressive game visually, but it was like 5-hour walking sim. It was straight line from start to finish. Really boring game. Everybody finished it like the first day. Not going to even be nominated, I'm sure, for Game of the Year. Nintendo, they always have the usual. There'll be a Mario game in there, a Zelda game in there somewhere. But last year was Tears of the Kingdom 2. They don't really have a huge title like that this year. So that leaves it up to PC/PlayStation. Games I played this year that I'd say are up there for me are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, of course. That game was almost too long. Wukong's long, but for RPG, it's like it was impressive how long Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is. And there's a lot of stuff to do in that game, too. But I don't know. It was okay. I didn't finish the game being like, wow, what a game. I was like, okay, by the end of it, I was kind of like, okay, finally, it's over. Didn't get platinum on that one either. Too much to do. But it was a good game. It's definitely worthy of consideration. Stellar Blade was in my next one. That game was excellent. Yeah, it was a really good game. I got off flack because some people were mad because it got censored a little bit at the start. The art shop, if you know, you know. And some people just have a problem with a super sexy protagonist. Yeah, and we know it's not a real girl, okay? But Korea knows what's up. Japan, for the most part. All those Asian countries, we want a sexy character, okay? Sorry. If you got a sexy character and you get that eye candy in the game, it doesn't hurt. That's all I'm saying. You know, give me a guy, whatever, if you like guys. Give me an attractive character. Nathan Drake, that was a sexy motherfucker. Okay? I want to give more Nathan Drakes in there. I'll take more Eves as well. So Stellar Blade, really good game. And then this one, Wukong, which I was hesitant at the start because it looked like it was just a boss rush. And I was like, keep an eye on this one, see how the reviews do. Then I looked at it. People seem to really like it. I try it. Fucking blowing me away. And I'm about to get into another session, chapter 4. But out of the 3, those are my 3 nominees for now. There could be more games that are coming out. But those are the best 3. And probably if you had to pick, and I haven't finished the game yet, so I don't know if this will hold up, but probably Wukong is the game of the year. There were other games I played this year, like Persona 3 Reload, some other stuff. Yeah, this Wukong game is crazy. Play it. It's got a lot of bugs graphics-wise. Still an awesome adventure. And I'm about to get into some of that. So anyway, we'll see. Maybe I'll update my list later. But I digress. It's 36 minutes in. That's enough for now. Try to do these once a week, but I was too tired to do them, so I got some extra content to talk about. Yeah. So if anybody ever sees this video, appreciate you watching. I was going to make ChatGPT write me a theme song, so I might still do that. But this is Future for PSG Quick Pulls. And we are signing out if I can remember how to end this video, which I have no clue how to do. And I always forget how. So we'll just kind of yammer until I find the button. There it is. It's hidden by my taskbar. Peace out, everybody. Love ya.